let me work it, 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 work it. It's the kind of beat that go.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video of mine. It is Phattty, and I'm just here outside. As I said before, if you haven't watched my other lock video, I said that I was on vacation and there's nowhere in my family's house to actually record because it's very loud and there's a lot of kids and things like that. So I have to come outside and find a place where it's somewhat quiet. You will definitely hear cars or like people walking or stuff like that, but hopefully that doesn't bother you too much. And basically I just wanted to inform you guys a little bit. If you're new to the lock journey, then you might be unaware of the process of what you might have to go through. Now, some people inform themselves before they start their locks and some people don't. So for those who don't or do, I just wanted to just go through the phases of your lock journey. So the first phase is, starter locks. That's when you first begin to get into the lock journey, whether it's two-strand, palm rolling, interlocking, freeforming. You're not really seeing a lot because this is the beginning. This is where your locks will start to do something after a while. In the starter lock phase, you're gonna realize that sometimes your locks are not gonna stay, like it's gonna get unraveled, it's going to be unruly, like you're just not going to always be able to keep your coils or your two strands. I used to get my locks retwisted every 2.5 weeks, and that was just my preference because I didn't want to do it too often because your hair is very fragile and you don't want to like thin your hair out at the very beginning or at all. I did 2.5 weeks and I thugged it out. How you start your hair is how your hair will end up. Now if your foundation is weak, like I said, your locks will be weak. If you want to start with a perm, I advise you to grow your hair out a little bit and then start it, and then as you go, then you can snip the ends. More of a hassle for you if you do start your hair with perm because it's a weak foundation at that moment. I advise that you start your hair at this natural state. So whatever your natural state is, it's best to start your hair that way so you will have a good foundation in your lock journey. Second stage is budding. So the budding stage was really exciting for me because I was just like, oh my goodness, my hair is doing something. It's changing, it's meshing together, it's doing something, it's forming. But I wasn't sure on what was going on because it was only like parts of my hair that was doing it. It was loose at the very top of my head, but then it was forming like a bud, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is really exciting. But then I was like, I don't really know what this is doing. For some people it might be a little uncomfortable because it probably is not the best appearance because it's puffy and it doesn't all bud all at once. So it might be like 5 locks, 6 locks, 7 locks, and then they will all just like eventually form and become a lock. But it's just really like exciting for me because I'm like, oh my gosh, my hair is forming a lock. Yeah. You're gonna notice a lot of frizziness in the budding stage, and it's one of those things where you cannot really do anything about. There's nothing that can tame what your hair is doing at this moment because it's a process. It's a part of your locks actually forming, and you have to let it be. You have to let your hair be free. You have to let your hair do its thing. You can't stop that process unless you take your hair out and then your lock journey's over. But that's not what we are wanting. We want you to stay locked. If you're in the budding stage, please don't be discouraged because your locks are frizzy and you don't know what to do or you don't like the appearance. At this stage, you want to also make sure when you do retwist your locks, you want to keep that same pattern of how you started. So if you started with diamond shaped locks or square shaped locks or whatever the case is, based on your parting system, you want to make sure your parting system is always intact. You don't want, you know, it to be all messy unless that's what you want. But if you want to have a uniform look, or if you want your, you know, your parts to be the same way as you started, then you have to be consistent in actually keeping those parts separated.
You get me? Okay.
Now the next stage is the teenage stage. Now this is when your locks are rebels. Like, they don't care. They don't care what you want. They don't care what you want to do. They're gonna do whatever they want to do. Now you don't got a choice on what your hair is gonna do. This is the rebel phase. It's gonna be sticking up. It's gonna be going all types of ways. It's gonna be going left, right, up, down. You cannot control the way your locks are gonna look as far as this stage. Now, people might think,
Oh, I don't know when my locks are standing up. I see people with locks and their locks are laying down.
that's because their locks are in the mature stage, not in the teenage stage. Teenage, you are getting into the game. You are trying to, you know, fit in the right spot in your own unique way. You're not trying to be like nobody. But then you're like,
I'ma do me.
You're able to wash your hair and you won't really have to worry about or panicking about, oh my gosh, my locks are coming out, because it's kind of formed that budding so that your locks can form. Those who interlock, it's totally different because you are already tightening your hair, and it's different from retwisting your hair. So interlocking, they probably got it a little more easier in that sense, because once you retighten, all you have to retighten is the new growth. And then for those who are retwisting, you basically just retwisting what has loosened and the new growth as well. So sometimes it's not new growth that you see, sometimes it's unraveled hair and the new growth together. So you know, some people might misinterpret that, oh, my hair grew so much, da da da. But you have to realize that your hair does unravel, and your hair will unravel. My locks still unravels because I go to the gym so often now. It's just a part of the journey. Your roots are not always going to be like completely in a lock. Okay, so the fourth stage, now this is the mature stage. This is when your hair has formed a lock. It looks like a locks. There's no way that your locks is gonna, you know, completely get loose or anything. At this phase, you're able to see a lot of growth, and you're able to see your true length and things of that nature. Your hair will pick up its growth spurt. This is like when your hair is like really, really growing. At the ends of your hair, it's sealed or it's somewhat curly. I used to have curly ends, but because I cut my locks and trimmed them, that part is pretty much gone. You are able to just enjoy your journey even more, even though it has been a wonderful journey. You're able to see how beautiful the journey is, and you're able to just discover other things about your hair. So the stage of beyond maturity is when you're basically noticing certain things about your locks, whether you're taking care of it or not. You will see if you're not taking care of it, and you will see if you are taking care of it. So it has its pros and its cons. Now, say that you dyed your hair so many times, and you notice your hair is still growing and it's still good and all that stuff. At the beyond maturity stage, you might discover that your hair is thinning at the ends, or it's weakened or stuff like that. It's not until you become really, really mature in your lock journey that you really notice what you've done prior to that. So it's important that you don't put too much chemicals in your hair, you don't put too much product in your hair, you don't want to put too much stress onto your hair, because you will realize it when you are deep down in the game. For me in my lock journey, I like to trim my ends, and I do that very often whenever I feel like I need to. If I feel like my hair is thinning or whatever there is, or you know, if it's not looking right, or if it's looking too thin at the end, I would snip them babies. I'm not scared to snip my hair. Some people are like, oh, I want long locks, I'm gonna not ever cut my hair because I want long locks and I can't wait till my locks grow to this length and that length. But you want to make sure that your hair is also healthy. So I want my locks to be long and healthy, not just long and brittled, and long and crippled, long and thin, long and just busted. Like, I want my locks to look beautiful and to be consistent. When I think of hair, I think of health first. I am not someone who's like, oh, I want long hair, I don't care how it is, I just want long hair. I'm someone who's like, I want healthy hair. So whether it's long, short, what have you, I want it to be healthy, because that's what's gonna keep it onto my head for as long as possible. Now, if you have hair, long hair, and it's unhealthy, you might notice that your hair is gonna be thinning, you might notice that your hair is going to be breaking off, or whatever. You just don't want to risk your hair doing that to you. As I take care of myself, I take care of my hair, because my hair is a part of me. And as my hair is flourishing, I'm flourishing. We all flourish together. You know what I'm saying? So I just want to say, for those who are starting lock journey, welcome. And I am here to help you and encourage you, and you know, make sure that you guys are on the right track. I also want you to do your research, and for you to know for yourself.
And for you to have your
Okay, so there was just a bee. I guess it's time to go, because I literally just ran off camera. If you are new in your journey, please do your research. Even if you're not new, please do your research at everything that you do. Anything that you are unsure of, please research about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you have a wonderful day. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, please subscribe down below. And I will see you in my next video. Bye. Okay, so you guys, I just want you guys to get to know me a little more. So if you can just drop some questions down below, and I can just combine it all in one video so you guys can get to know me a little more on a personal level, so that you guys can know your girl, because she ain't going nowhere.